Good morning. So yesterday, Debbie, one of the other admin on our group, begged me to go live so that she had something to watch. And I wasn't able to go live yesterday, but I'm doing it for you this morning, Miss Debbie. So I decided what we were going to do is some color blocking. However, I do everything on the nails that I do in my salon on top. I don't do it in the acrylic. Not that I can't, but what I find is that when they come back in for their fill, I want to be able to take my e-file and file off all of the color and everything that's on top. And then I will file that to where I have a clear base, and then I can start up again. So everything that I have done, I have figured out how to do with gel polish so that it can sit up on top of the nail. And so I did these yesterday, and I decided today I would play around a little bit. I'm going to show you still two of them using the glitters I used yesterday, and I'm going to show you one. I know, with that C word of Christmas, I'm going to show you one with Christmas colors as well. Okay, so these are just tips that are pre-etched from Tammy Taylor. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't use tips very much. I sculpt more, so I'm going to use these tips just so that, honestly, I can get rid of them. So if this was product that was already on a nail, what I would do is I would finish file it, and then I would add a coat of matte finish top coat. The reason why it will give me that matte finish. It also gives it a little bit of a texture to where I can draw and I can play on it without any of my product moving around. And then anytime you use a matte finish, you can apply another product to it and it will stick. Unlike if I used a gloss finish, I would have to buff it to make it work. So save a step and finish your work off with matte finish top coat. You would remove the tacky layer, and then you would go right into your colors. So the colors that I used for here, I don't know which one to do first. I'll just do them all at the same time. So in these, I'm just using regular gel polish. And what I used in the picture was a red, blue, and gold. Anytime that you're color blocking, it's just a matter of your placement of your gel polish. Oh my gosh. Hi, Kate. Hi, Sandra. I see that I actually have people watching me today. Okay, so to do this one, what I did is I brought in my brush and drew it out exactly where I wanted it to go. It does not have to be perfect. I can tell you, I can talk an entire nail appointment, but when it comes to the nail art, I pretty much stick out my tongue, look absolutely like a dork. Okay, so maybe I'm a dork all the time, but okay. Because I like my workstation to be clean, I always put a paper towel underneath. So while your gel polish is still wet, oh, hi, Carrie and Sam. Thanks for joining. This is a last-minute live that Debbie asked me to do for her yesterday, and I didn't get to it, so I'm doing it today. So while your gel polish is still wet, remember there's matte finish on the background. So at this point, if I sprinkled glitter on the matte finish, it would not stick to it. So I can make a mess and I can sprinkle glitter to wherever it's wet and then set it in the light and it will stick to that. Yeah, I go silent too, Kate. Sprinkle on your glitter. See, you can tap off your excess. It makes a very clean lines in there. And then I set everything in the light. So I set it in the light for 1 minute no matter what. If you've ever watched my lives, the reason why is because clients are naughty with their hands when it's not in the light. They're touching things, and I don't want naughty hands. Okay, so like I said, I'm just going to continue on and do all three of them at the same time. So I'm going to get my gold done on all of them. Once again, put it on exactly where you want that color to go. I do this on short nails more often than long because the majority of my clients have nail length about the length of mine. And I've just learned how to do all this color blocking the easy way. Tap off your excess. and then set that in the light. Tip number 3. So this one's the tricky one. This is a design that a lot of people go to do, and you see it more with like nudes and a glitter and white and stuff like that, but it's the same concept, so just keep that in mind. And then yes, you'd really like the look of this. I was thinking it would involve striping tape. Well, Kate, just for you, I will do one of those with striping tape so that you can see that. Okay. So what I find is when you do these color blocking ones, if you're using nude and white and like a soft gray or something like that, if one of them pertains glitter, do the glitter one first. Remember, you'll have a matte finish on there, so the glitter will stick to anything that's wet. And so if you go ahead and do the glitter one first, then it's easier for you to color block that out. In this case, we're doing glitter on all of them, but this will give you an idea of how it goes. You know, here's another little thing that I do sometimes. Let's say I want this nail to be even, like perfectly even, and depending on the shape that you have for the nail, if it's stiletto or something like that, you want to make sure that your look will look right. If you're OCD like I am and you want it to be perfect, actually take a pencil. If you draw on matte finish with a pencil, you can take rubbing alcohol and wipe it right off. And so therefore you can create your outline first. Here's another thing. Remember, I always use makeup wedges. They're absolutely lint-free. I don't have to worry about that at all. Anyways, you can remove your pencil lines with rubbing alcohol. Now I gotta let that dry again before I put on. Okay, so with your pencil, you could come in and you can give divider marks. So like I want one peak to be here and maybe one here. And then kind of sketch out your lines of where you would want them to be. Like that. Now, when you put your product on, it's going to cover up those pencil lines. And that pencil line, I have never had it mess at all with any of my products from adhering. So, okay. So apply your glitter where you want it. And then you would sprinkle on your glitter. Once again, because you have matte finish, the glitter will only stick to where it's wet. And then set that in the light. Okay, so now we've done all the gold glitter on all of them. I don't like waste, and I know that I've not used this at all on a client or anything dirty, so I can put it back in there. And really the base gel of what you're using on any of these doesn't really show up at the end as long as your glitter is solid, and so it doesn't really matter what you're using for base. Sometimes I'll just use even a clear coat to be able to achieve it, but I don't go through my gel polishes fast enough, so I want to kind of use some of these up. So I would use the ones that you need to get rid of before they go bad. Okay, so these are set in the gel polish. I can scrape a pot up across it. It's not going to move. So then I can wipe off my excess and then come in with my second color to color block. So here was our inspiration. Once again, these are ones that I want to get rid of. See how the brush is really starting to fray out? Actually just did a video of my theory of why these brushes don't hold up or they fray out, and so you can find the video of my opinion on that as well. So once again, this is just some random one, so kind of just put it in anywhere. I mean, it'd even be fun to go lengthwise and color block it a different way. Just to follow to show you what I did to begin with, though, I'm going to try to repeat what I did the first time. Okay, and then you'll come in with your glitter. and it's okay. So this is no longer wet. So if I sprinkle glitter on top of this, a few specks might get in there, but ultimately it does not. So this is one of those times that you can be messy. I prefer to still try to stay in that area to not have too much of a cleanup. Tap off your excess. And I'll show you, see how the red's up on that? At the end, because that's not sticky, I can wipe that off with my brush. So it's one of those things like, don't worry about the small stuff, because believe in your product and your product placement and how you're using it, and you'll know that it will be fine. Okay, so the second one we did is this one. This one I used at Halloween, and I made it look like it was kind of quilted, like patchwork. And then I used this one at Valentine's Day. It can pull off an envelope look. It's really cute to be able to add hearts and all that kind of stuff in there as well. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second and answer some of these questions because, oh my gosh, it's all lit up on here really fast. Okay, Kate, I'm going to go ahead and do one with striping tape so that you can see how I outline with the striping tape as well. I do have an appointment in like 40 minutes coming in, so I'm going to have to end this for that. So, and then, yeah, you can use base coat, Sandra. The reason why I use matte finish, though, is because of the texture that it gives me. Sometimes base coat can be too smooth, as the matte finish gives me a little bit of a roughness. But yeah, you can definitely use base coat and remove the gloss from that, or use the base coat to sprinkle in the glitter in as well. Like I said, my base coat I use all the time. These other colors I don't use all the time, so I'm trying to use them up. Are you using any specific glitter, or are you just using craft glitter? All the glitter that I'm using is from actual companies. This one is Young Nails. These other ones that have a little bit more of a rock star effect are called Dazzle Rocks from Tammy Taylor. You have to watch out as you want to use a cosmetic grade glitter. And Debbie's joining us. Debbie, here's your video that I never got to yesterday. Hi, Becky. Hi, Leah. Laura. Oh my gosh, there's so many people in here. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. Okay, so take your brush, wipe off the excess glitter. It's not going anywhere. Okay, come in with your second color. See, I go silent. All right. Lightly sprinkle in your glitter onto the red. Tap off your excess and set that in the light. And then on this one, so you're doing 3 at once. I guess this is how we would do it on a client. We wouldn't just do one nail. We would do all 3. They would be some crazy nails if that client wanted all of them like that, but I have those kind of clients, so I've learned to just stick with one color, complete it on all 10, and then continue on. Okay, so on here we're going to add the red. This would be obviously more towards their cuticle line, and you'd have to play it a little bit safer to get your, not your smile line, but your cuticle line fine. That was a toughie. If for some reason you have an area that didn't fill in, mine is filled in here, but you can always take like a dotting tool and drag your gel to where you need it to get into those points. So be useful of all your tools. Beautiful. And set that in the light. Once you get the hang of this, it does not take that long. It is one of those that takes a lot of different products, so you might need to justify your cost for the products and for the time. You know, it's always hard on knowing what to charge for artwork, and so just make sure that you're justified in your time as well. Okay, so wipe off all that excess. That's where the red wiped off of that gold, because there's nothing for it to stick to. Now I can come in with my third color, blue. And remember, it doesn't so much matter what color you use underneath because the glitter is going to cover that. If you're not steady enough, like this morning, I am not that steady, to be honest with you, then you could use a small brush to apply them, or put a little, dab of it onto your glass, and then use your dotting tool to apply it that way, or a small brush. Once again, you're allowed to be a little bit messy because it's not going to stick to the other glitters. Back to this one. Wipe off the excess. And I want to show you, if you can see the side view, that is not thick at all. It's not clumpy. There's no finish filing once I'm to this point. I'll show you how I get it completely smooth. I don't like the textured sugar effect, so unless they ask for me not to do that, then I would set all this glitter up in a hard gel, and then I can leave it a sugared effect. In this case, I'm doing it in gel polish, and I'm going to make it smooth. Hi, Anna. Hi, Cade, Maria. Thank you all for joining. And then Debbie says, they look fab. Can't wait to try this one out. Oh, so I am showing you something that might be kind of new. I love watching your work and all of the contests that you put out for everybody. And this is one of those that I think can be easily done even from an intermediate, a beginner, I should say. Just having the products. Tap off your excess. Okay, on this one, just to have a little fun, because as I mentioned in the beginning, Christmas is coming up. So this one is has a lot more of the chunky glitter, the rock star in it. It doesn't matter what you use. You can do this with any of them. So I'm gonna get a green gel here. When you're doing the sprinkle glitter like this, make sure that you're definitely down on your sides and your free edge so that you can encapsulate it there so that you don't have any spots that just look awful. So here's an example. I used a bright green that I need to get rid of. Sprinkle on this other green glitter. See? It's so pretty. I have to tell you, I could not wait to do Christmas colors this year. And the reason why is I just moved to a new town, and they're not quite used to the artwork that I do. I do a lot of art and have been doing this for many years, so I've kind of perfected different designs, and they're not used to that over here. So the fun thing with all of that is it's like me introducing to all of them again something so new, and it's exciting to me. Like even doing a lot of snowflakes on like a marbled background or a glittered background or something that gives them the wow factor. Okay, so back to the very first one that I did. I'm going to wipe off all the excess glitter. It's hard because glitter goes everywhere. And then I'm going to come in with a base coat. And the reason why base coat is because it's completely clear. Make sure you encapsulate it all the way around the sides. And if you've wiped off all of that excess glitter, you're really not going to harm yourself in putting this back into your base. I do have a base that I use just for glitter. So I see one little speck on there. If you see that, wipe that off before you put it back into your base coat so that you don't get it to where it's all crazy. Get a good solid. Okay, don't they know I'm live? make sure in your base coat that it's completely encapsulated your sidewalls, your free edge, everything there. It's still a nice thin coat. It's not, you know, thick and running around, but I actually do 2 coats of this. One coat just isn't enough for me to smooth out all that glitter. So I'm going to apply that to each one of these. Like I said, the reason why I've learned how to do everything in gel polish is because anytime that I do something embedded into my acrylic or my hard gel, I find that when they return for their fill, I am spending so much time with my e-file that honestly, that's the area of this that I dread, is the prep. But I know without proper prep that my nails aren't going to work, so I do it right. So I do everything in gel polish up on top, and that way I can file it off easily the next time they come in and concentrate more on my art. Okay, so as you can tell from the one that I used that had a lot of the Rockstar, there's a lot of chunks in it. So I do kind of knock that down a little bit. I can use my brush some more. Sometimes it will make more come up. So what I find is I'm going to go ahead and put my base coat on it. And then after my base coat is on, I will buff that out a little bit and then put my second coat on. In our group, I was shopping India's Urban Glitters. I don't have any of hers as I'm in the United States, and but they will ship. Anyways, I can't wait. I have a cart saved of all the things that I want from her glitters as well. So there's a little plug for you, India. Okay, so this has 1 coat of base coat on. It is pretty smooth. It's still textured more than what I personally would like. So I go ahead and I put on a second coat. Now, you've just watched me touch all over that. That is only for you so that you guys can see what I mean. I would not touch, after I have cleaned the nail, I would not go back through and retouch that, as the oils from your hands can get on there, preventing from your gel polish to continue to lay smooth onto your product. So don't be naughty like what I just was and touch them all over like that. So this is my second coat of base. Sometimes if I'm leaving their cuticle area clear and just color blocking it out so as they grow out they don't have a grow out line, then I'll just take like a light glitter that has maybe a Prisma effect and use that as the second coat, and then that way they would have glitter all the way up to the cuticle line. Okay, once again, second coat for this one of the base. Caps of free edges in the sides just to make sure that it's completely encapsulated. What I like is using the true form of the glitter and not, let's say, encapsulating it in any other product, is you get a sparkle that is just unparalleled to any other product. Okay, so this is the one that I decided I was going to use the Rockstar glitter on. So I've already base coated it once. This is where I come in with a buffer, if I have one here. And I would just lightly buff off those high points. Go around the sides, and then that will smooth that out. Clean that off. At this point, you can use rubbing alcohol again. If you were buffing it and you saw any of the powders kind of go in there, you could use rubbing alcohol, wipe that off, and then you would come back in with your second coat of base coat. cap your free edge and your sidewalls. Oh, I have a little fiber or something there, but I don't see it now. It's so pretty. Okay, so I have 2 coats of base over my glitter to encapsulate it. At this point, I can come in with another makeup wedge. I'm using 91% rubbing alcohol. Remove all of the inhibitor layer, the tacky coat. As you can tell, completely smooth. See the light reflecting on it? Yep. So I've encapsulated glitter in gel polish. So for this one, how I finished off the other ones, I just took a finger paint striper. And I came in and outlined it. You don't have to outline these, or you could use gold or silver or green, you know, if you want to pull in like all of your Christmas colors. Or fall is beautiful, being able to use browns and golds and coppers. That one would be fun with a Santa face on one and make all those look like bricks, like he's coming down the chimney. Okay, so there's a recreation of that one. Remove that sticky layer. Ooh, see, I even got glitter stuck up at the base, just one little speck. You could file that out if you really wanted to, but honestly, my clients never complain about the little things like that. And just take your time and outline the lines. You could do dots. At this point, you could do stones. You could, you know, take some hard gel and set that up. There's a recreation of that one. Okay, so this one we'll do for Debbie. She wanted to see striping tape. So my phone just beeped at me that it only has 15% battery life. So I am just going to show you quickly how to do it. Well, this is a gold one. It's the first one I grabbed. Let me move this paper up. I line it up on my glass and cut off my excess. I can say striping tape is not one of my favorites. I love the after effect of it, but it just is not one of my favorites when I know that I can outline it and get a similar impact with a striper brush. Okay, so that tacky layer is removed. The nail is smooth, so once again you could see the line of, or the light reflecting off of that. So even on the chunkier glitter that I used, it's still encapsulated in there. Okay. I meet them up in the middle first. The reason why is I can take my excess striping tape and put the excess off the sides. And as you well know, striping tape can just be one of those. Oh, okay, I'm going to take it off of here. One of those, what do I want to say, difficult things to get onto the nail. It's not where I want it. It's worth it to line up your centers when you're color blocking it and doing it this way. So it might take you a little time, but work that out. And don't you wish we could just turn the client's hand over and do that? In the salon, that's not really easily done. Go up closer. I've seen where people can do this with tweezers and stuff, and I'm just not good at that. I'm better using my hands. On the very tip of this, you want to cross that over. And then pull your line down. So there's a couple ways. From here, you can take this and immediately, so here's what I do. I could either put a thin layer of a builder gel over this and then kind of be done with that, or I could do a base coat and then set that in the light, and then I clip off my sides and file them to make sure that they're smooth, and then I do a top coat on top of that. I would show you, but I think my phone's going to die before I could accomplish all of that. Anyways, I just want you to see that that's how you would do the striping tape as well. So there's the recreation of that. And once again, striping tape is definitely one that it can have a wow factor to it, obviously. It's a couple extra coats of the gel polish. So remember that you're charging accordingly for the extra time, even though striping tape doesn't cost that much and the extra 2 coats aren't really that much, but the time to put it on can definitely, especially if you're doing all 10, can definitely be time consuming. And make sure that you charge for that. I teach classes that are called oh gosh, what's the name of it? It's just knowing your overhead cost, your product cost, and your table cost. And it's knowing, charge what you're worth is the name of the class. And so it's definitely one of those things that you need to know and compensate yourself for, because that can kill you in the industry if you're not charging what you're worth. Okay, ladies, I will go through and answer any questions that you have, and even as this continues to replay in our live feed or in our discussion feed, then I will continue to answer any questions that you have. I'm always looking for submissions of what you guys think I should teach next, and so I'm open to the ideas. I'll be honest if I think that it's not something I can do, and I will direct you to the person that I think would be the good teacher for that. So thank you for spending your morning with me, and I'll talk to you later.